Hi, so I still have a few minutes, so I thought I would jump on and share with you my first reason why maybe you feel like you can't homeschool. So, in the last 19 years, it is very rare that I have had someone tell me that they disagree with my decision to homeschool. In fact, most people, when I tell them that I homeschool, their response is something like, well, I could never do that because blank. There have been all kinds of reasons why people tell me that they can't homeschool. So, we're going to look at 8 different reasons why people feel like they can't homeschool and look at whether that's a valid reason or not for you. You need to evaluate whether this is a valid reason that you shouldn't homeschool. So, number one, I can't homeschool because my husband, my parents, or my child doesn't want me to. So, honestly, this might really be a genuine X reason. If your husband is not supportive, or if it's the husband homeschooling, which is possible, if your wife is not supportive of the decision to homeschool, then I would tell you, you need to seriously consider whether this is the right alternative for you. Thankfully, it's June. So you have a couple months before you need to make a decision about whether you're going to homeschool. If your husband is not supportive of you homeschooling right now, and I'm going to just kind of keep saying your husband because most of the time it is your wife that's homeschooling. If your husband is not supportive of you homeschooling, I would encourage you to research this together as a couple and evaluate help him to look at what is he concerned about, what concerns does he have, and how can you help to alleviate this. Does he feel like you don't have the time? Does he feel like you don't have the money? Does he feel like your children will be scarred for life if you homeschool them? And part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they might help answer some of his questions. But don't just take it from me. Talk to some other homeschoolers. Find some children that are now adults who have graduated from homeschooling and talk to them. Talk to some other parents. When we started homeschooling almost 20 years ago, talking to parents that already were homeschooling or had homeschooled really helped set my husband's mind at ease. So many people don't know anyone that homeschools or have only heard about it on the news or met one person one time and they were weird or whatever. So do some investigation. But on the other hand, if your parents are not real supportive of this, I would ask you, how involved do you need your parents to be? If you need your parents to actually homeschool the kids for you, or if you need your parents to, financially back you homeschooling, for example, then you probably need their support. But if you and your husband are going to be homeschooling your kids, sometimes they will not agree with the decisions that you make. Maybe your parents don't like that you got a dog. Maybe your parents don't like that you moved to a new city. Maybe your parents don't like the job that you have. There are lots of things that maybe your parents don't agree with, but they don't have to agree with every decision that you make. For me, both my parents and my husband's parents were not super excited when we started homeschooling. They didn't really know people that homeschooled and they weren't really on board. But after 19 years, my parents and my husband's parents have both seen the benefit of homeschooling. In fact, my husband's sister and my sister both chose to homeschool their kids as well, which to me means I must not have been messing up too much. My kids must not have been too weird and me be too crazy that both my sister-in-law and my sister thought that they would also homeschool. If your children are not supportive of this, I would encourage you to have your kids read about it, have your kids watch some videos, have them really think about it. I would encourage you to help them to see the benefit of homeschooling. But sometimes your kids don't want what really is best for them. Sometimes your kids want to stay up until midnight and you have to make them go to bed. Sometimes your kids don't want to do schoolwork. They don't want to do their homework. They don't want to eat their vegetables. They don't want to exercise. Whatever it is, you as a parent have the responsibility for doing what is in your child's best interest. So, number one, I can't homeschool because somebody doesn't want me to. So, research, give it some thought, help encourage the person, but then in the end, you have to make a decision, and hopefully a couple decision. My husband is now very supportive of us homeschooling, and when I'm having a bad day, he helps to encourage me and lift me up, and that is really, really a blessing. Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye. Tune in for the next one. I can't homeschool because I don't have the time.